The assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, a Saudi Arabian journalist and dissident, on October 2, 2018, sent shockwaves around the world and sparked widespread outrage and condemnation. The killing, which took place inside the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, was carried out by a team of Saudi Arabian agents, and was widely seen as a targeted attack on free speech and the freedom of the press. Jamal Khashoggi was a well-known journalist and commentator, who had written extensively about Saudi Arabian politics and society. He was a prominent critic of the Saudi Arabian government, particularly the policies of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and had been living in self-exile in the United States for the past year. On the day of his assassination, Khashoggi entered the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul to obtain documents related to his upcoming wedding. He was never seen alive again, and Turkish authorities later released evidence suggesting that he had been murdered and dismembered inside the consulate by a team of Saudi Arabian agents. The killing of Jamal Khashoggi sparked widespread outrage and condemnation from governments and human rights organizations around the world. Many saw the killing as a targeted attack on free speech and the freedom of the press, and called for an independent investigation into the murder. The Saudi Arabian government initially denied any involvement in Khashoggi's death, but later changed its story several times, eventually admitting that he had been murdered by Saudi Arabian agents but claiming that the killing had been a mistake. The Saudi Arabian government also arrested and charged several individuals in connection with the murder, but the trial was widely criticized for lacking transparency and for not holding those at the highest levels of the government accountable. The killing of Jamal Khashoggi also had major diplomatic consequences, with many countries and businesses distancing themselves from Saudi Arabia in the wake of the assassination. The international community was particularly concerned about the apparent lack of accountability for the killing, and the ongoing crackdown on dissent and free speech in the country. The assassination of Jamal Khashoggi was also a major turning point in the relationship between Saudi Arabia and the international community, with many countries and businesses rethinking their ties with the kingdom in the wake of the killing. The incident also shone a spotlight on the broader issue of human rights abuses and the suppression of dissent in Saudi Arabia, and raised questions about the country's role in the region and its relations with the rest of the world. In the months and years following Khashoggi's murder, the international community has continued to call for accountability and justice for the journalist and his family. The Saudi Arabian government has faced increasing pressure to end its crackdown on dissent and free speech, and to make significant reforms to its justice system and human rights practices. The killing of Jamal Khashoggi was a tragedy that shocked the world and underscored the importance of protecting freedom of speech and the freedom of the press. It remains a powerful reminder of the dangers that journalists and dissidents face in countries where freedom of expression is not guaranteed, and the importance of holding those who carry out such attacks accountable for their actions. In conclusion, the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi in October 2018 marked a significant turning point in the history of Saudi Arabia and the international community. The killing sparked widespread outrage and condemnation, and was seen as a targeted attack on free speech and the freedom of the press. The aftermath of the assassination continues to be felt today, as the international community continues to call for accountability and justice for the journalist and his family, and for reforms to the human rights practices in Saudi Arabia.